As the festival approached, anticipation filled the air. Jake felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that together, he and Seraphina could overcome anything. Their love was growing, a beacon of hope in a world filled with uncertainty. The day of the festival dawned bright and clear, with colorful banners fluttering in the gentle breeze. The people of Zephyra filled the town square with excitement, eager to celebrate the unity between their queen and her human companion. Jake stood at the edge of the square, watching as the vibrant colors and joyful laughter surrounded him. His heart raced, knowing that today was crucial for their future. Seraphina appeared, radiant in her traditional gown, the colors of which mirrored the hues of the festival. She looked stunning, her blue skin shimmering in the sunlight. As she walked towards Jake, he felt a swell of pride. They were no longer just a queen and her human ambassador. They were partners, united by love and a shared vision for their worlds. "Are you ready?" Seraphina asked, her voice filled with enthusiasm. Jake nodded, determination shining in his eyes. "I'm ready. Let's show everyone what we can do together." As the festival began, Seraphina and Jake took their place at the front of the gathering. The air was filled with music, laughter, and the sweet scent of Zephyrian delicacies. The townsfolk watched closely, their expressions a mix of excitement and uncertainty. They had seen Jake's dedication, but now they wanted to see if he could truly be part of their community. Seraphina stepped forward, her voice strong and confident. "Today, we celebrate the bond between our worlds. I want to thank you all for being here. This festival symbolizes our hope for a united future." The crowd cheered, but some remained skeptical, whispering among themselves. Jake knew he had to do something to win their trust. Taking a deep breath, he stepped beside Seraphina and addressed the audience. "Thank you for welcoming me," he began. "I know I am different, but I want you to see that I care for your queen and your people. I am here to learn, to share, and to build a future together. We can grow stronger by embracing our differences." He felt a wave of anxiety wash over him as he spoke, but he poured his heart into his words. The crowd fell silent, listening closely. Encouraged by their attention, he continued. "Together we can combine our strengths, our knowledge, and our cultures. Imagine what we can achieve." Some people in the audience began to nod, their expressions softening. Seraphina looked at Jake with admiration. He was speaking from the heart, and she could feel the power of his words. To demonstrate their unity, Seraphina invited Jake to participate in traditional Zephyrian dances. As the music played, Jake hesitated but then joined in, following Seraphina's lead. They moved together, laughter and joy radiating from them. The villagers watched in amazement as the human gracefully adapted to their dance, showing his respect and willingness to embrace their culture. The atmosphere shifted, and the crowd's skepticism began to fade. They saw the connection between their queen and the human. They saw love, trust, and hope. As the dance continued, more villagers joined in, and soon the square was filled with laughter and movement. Later in the day, there were games and contests. Jake participated with enthusiasm, throwing himself into each challenge. He played games of skill and strength, showcasing his athleticism while also learning from the Zephyrians. With each interaction, he was proving that he could be a part of their community. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in brilliant shades of orange and purple, Seraphina and Jake stood together at the center of the square. The festival was in full swing, and the energy was electric. Seraphina raised her hand for silence, and the crowd settled down, eager to hear her words. "Today we have shown that love knows no boundaries," she announced. "Together we have celebrated our differences and discovered our strengths. I believe this is just the beginning of a beautiful partnership between our worlds." Jake felt a surge of emotion as he looked around at the smiling faces. The doubts that once lingered were now replaced with hope and acceptance. The festival had been a success, a turning point for both the queen and the human. As the night wore on, Jake and Seraphina took a moment to step away from the festivities. They found a quiet spot overlooking the town, the lights twinkling like stars below. Jake turned to Seraphina, his heart full. "We did it. They accepted us." Seraphina smiled, her eyes shining. "Yes, we did. This is just the start of a new future. We will face challenges, but together we can overcome anything." Jake took her hands in his, feeling the warmth of her touch. "I promise to stand by you, Seraphina. We will build a bridge between our worlds." As they stood together under the stars, they knew that their journey was only beginning. They had united their hearts and their peoples, ready to face whatever came next. With love and determination, they would create a new future, one filled with hope, understanding, and endless possibilities. Together, they were stronger, and their bond would change the fate of both Zephyra and Earth forever. On a distant planet named Zephyra, the sky shimmered with vibrant colors, and the air was filled with sweet scents. The people of Zephyra loved their queen, a stunning figure known for her beauty and strength. She had bright, glowing skin, large, expressive eyes, and long, flowing hair that sparkled in the sunlight. However, trouble was brewing. The queen was very sick, and no one knew why. In the grand palace, the queen lay on her bed, pale and weak. Her loyal advisors gathered in the room, worry etched on their faces. They spoke in hushed tones, trying to figure out how to save her. The room was filled with tension as the advisors debated their options. "The queen needs help," said Tarek, the head advisor, his voice trembling. "But how can we save her?" "She is fading quickly." Another advisor, Mira, looked thoughtful. "I have heard stories about humans. They have unique abilities that could save her. Perhaps we should seek help from one of them." Tarek shook his head. "But humans are from a different world. They are not like us. How can we trust them?" As they argued, the queen listened quietly. She wanted to tell them to stop, but she felt too weak. Her heart sank as she realized how serious her illness was. She needed to survive for her people, but time was running out. Suddenly, a bright light filled the room and a holographic image appeared. It was the Council of Zephyra, who had been monitoring the queen's condition. They spoke with authority, their voices echoing in the palace. "Your Majesty, we have a solution," the council leader declared. "We have discovered that only the unique biology of a human can cure you. We must send for one immediately." The queen felt a mix of fear and hope. "A human? But what if they cannot be trusted? What if they do not want to help me?" The council members exchanged worried glances. "We will select the bravest human ambassador. He will come to you with the intent to help," the leader assured her. "But you must be prepared to accept their ways." With little choice, the queen agreed. The council quickly made arrangements to reach out to Earth. Meanwhile, the queen's condition worsened. She felt weak and her energy was fading. Each day felt like a battle against time. In a faraway place on a planet called Earth, a young human named Jake received the call. He was known for his bravery and quick thinking. As he listened to the council's request, his heart raced. Mating with an alien queen to save her? This is unbelievable, he thought. Jake had always dreamed of adventures beyond his world. The thought of meeting an alien and possibly saving a queen excited him. But he also felt a sense of responsibility. If he accepted, he would be risking everything. After a moment of thought, he nodded to himself. "I can do this. I will help her." Jake packed his things and prepared for the journey, eager yet anxious about what lay ahead. Back on Zephyra, the queen awaited her human savior. She felt a strange mix of anticipation and dread. Would this human truly help her? Would they accept her as she was? These questions weighed heavily on her heart. As the days passed, the palace prepared for the ambassador's arrival. The queen's advisors worked tirelessly to ensure everything was ready. They decorated the throne room with beautiful flowers and hung shimmering lights to welcome their guest. Finally, the day came. The queen sat on her throne, her heart pounding as she heard the sounds of a ship landing outside. She took a deep breath, hoping this human would be the answer to her prayers. When the doors opened, light flooded the room. Jake stepped in, looking around in awe at the alien world. He felt nervous but determined. This was his chance to prove himself. He looked up and saw the queen, and in that moment both of their destinies intertwined. The queen met his gaze, and a spark of connection ignited between them. She felt a strange sense of comfort, despite the fear looming in her heart. She was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, even if it meant trusting a human to save her life. Jake stepped into the grand throne room, his heart racing. The air was thick with an unfamiliar scent, a mix of flowers and something sweet. He marveled at the beauty surrounding him. The walls were adorned with glowing crystals, and the ceiling shimmered like the night sky. But his eyes quickly found the queen, sitting on her magnificent throne. She was more stunning than he had imagined. Her bright, glowing skin seemed to radiate light, and her large, expressive eyes held both strength and vulnerability. For a moment, they just stared at each other, both feeling an instant connection. But soon, reality crashed down on them. The queen cleared her throat, breaking the silence. "Welcome, human ambassador. I am Queen Seraphina of Zephyrah. You have come to help me, but it is not an easy task." Jake took a deep breath, trying to appear calm. "Thank you for allowing me to be here, Your Majesty. I am ready to do whatever it takes to save you." The queen's expression shifted. "You must understand, saving me requires something extraordinary. It is not just about medicine or science. I need you to unite with me in a way that only a human and an alien can." Jake's eyes widened in surprise. "You mean—" He struggled to find the right words. "Yes," the queen replied, her voice steady. "To save my life, we must mate. This bond will allow me to heal and strengthen our species. It is a proposal that might shock you, but it is our only hope." Jake felt a whirlwind of emotions. He was both shocked and intrigued. "You want me to mate with you?" he asked, trying to wrap his mind around it. "But how will that even work? We are so different." The queen nodded, understanding his hesitation. "I know it is a lot to ask, but our biology is compatible in ways you cannot imagine. This union will not only save me, but could also bring our worlds closer together." Jake thought about the implications. He was just a human, and here was a beautiful alien queen asking him to save her life through such a deep connection. "What if I fail? What if this doesn't work?" The queen leaned forward, her eyes locked on his. "You won't fail. I believe in you. Together we can achieve something incredible. But you must decide quickly. Time is running out, and my condition is getting worse." Jake felt a surge of determination. He wanted to help her, not just because it was his duty, but because he was beginning to feel a strong connection with her. "I will do it. I want to help you, Queen Seraphina," he said, his voice firm. A smile broke across the queen's face, a mixture of relief and gratitude. "Thank you, Jake. You have no idea how much this means to me and my people." As they began to discuss the next steps, a soft light enveloped them, a sign of approval from the universe. They were two beings from different worlds, brought together by fate and necessity. In the following days, Jake and the queen spent time together, learning about each other's cultures and worlds. They laughed, shared stories, and formed a bond that went deeper than either of them expected. Jake found himself captivated by the queen's strength and beauty, while Seraphina admired his bravery and kindness. However, not everyone in Zephyrah was pleased with this union. The council was still skeptical and divided. Some members believed that mating with a human was a betrayal, while others saw the potential for a new alliance. The council called for a meeting to discuss the proposal. Tarek, the head advisor, stood before the assembly. "This is not just about the queen's health," he warned. "It is about the future of our species. Can we trust a human to be one of us?" Seraphina defended Jake passionately. "He is not just a human, he is my chosen partner in this. Together we can create a stronger bond between our worlds. We must not fear change, but embrace it." The debate raged on, with both sides presenting their arguments. Jake listened quietly, feeling the weight of the situation. He knew that his presence in Zephyrah was not just about saving the queen, but also about bridging two very different worlds. As the council continued to argue, Jake realized that their decision would impact not just the queen's life, but the fate of both their species. He felt a sense of purpose, knowing that he had to stand by Seraphina no matter the outcome. Together, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, determined to create a future that would unite them both. The days following Jake's agreement to help Queen Seraphina passed quickly, filled with anticipation and hope. However, not everyone in Zephyrah was happy about the plan. Many citizens were angry and frightened at the thought of their queen mating with a human. Whispers of doubt and fear filled the streets, and soon the palace became a battleground of opinions. In the town square, groups of Zephyrians gathered to voice their concerns. "How can we trust a human?" one villager shouted. "They are not like us. They do not understand our ways." The crowd murmured in agreement, their faces filled with worry. Meanwhile, in the palace, the council held urgent meetings to discuss the situation. Tarek, the head advisor, stood at the front, his expression serious. "We cannot allow this union to happen without considering the consequences. We must protect our queen and our people." Mira, another advisor, disagreed. "But what if this is the only way to save her? We should give the human a chance. He has shown courage and a willingness to help." The council debated fiercely. Some members supported the queen's choice, while others insisted on finding a different solution. The tension grew as the voices of dissent echoed through the palace halls. Outside, Jake could hear the growing unrest. He felt a wave of anxiety wash over him. He understood the people's fears, but he also believed in the importance of his mission. He wanted to prove himself, not just to the queen, but to her people as well. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, Jake decided it was time to confront the people directly. He wanted to show them that he was not a threat, but a friend. With Serafina's support, he organized a gathering in the town square, hoping to calm their fears. As he stood in front of the crowd, Jake felt a mix of excitement and nerves. He looked out at the faces watching him, some curious, some skeptical, and others outright hostile. "Thank you all for coming," he began, his voice steady but warm. "I know many of you have doubts about me. I am a human, and I come from a different world, but I am here to help your queen." The crowd murmured, and he could feel their skepticism. He took a deep breath, trying to find the right words. "I understand that my presence here is unusual, but I want to prove that I can be trusted. The queen needs me, and I believe that together we can create a brighter future for both our worlds." A voice from the back shouted, "But how can we be sure you won't harm her? Humans are dangerous." Jake held up his hands, trying to calm the crowd. "I would never harm her. I care for her deeply. My only goal is to save her life. If you give me a chance, I promise to show you that I am not like the humans you might fear. I am willing to learn about your ways and respect your culture." As he spoke, Serafina stepped forward, her presence commanding attention. "Please listen to Jake. He has already shown great courage and kindness. We must embrace change and not fear it. Together, we can be stronger." The crowd fell silent, captivated by her words. Some began to whisper to each other, contemplating the queen's request. "He is not our enemy," Serafina continued. "He is my chosen partner, and he has the potential to unite our worlds. But we need your support." A young woman in the front spoke up, her voice trembling. "What if this fails? What if it puts our queen in more danger?" Jake nodded, understanding her fears. "That is a possibility, but we cannot allow fear to stop us from trying. The queen deserves a chance at life, and I believe in her strength. If we succeed, we will create a bond between our people that can change everything." Slowly, some of the crowd began to nod, their expressions softening. Others remained uncertain, but the seeds of hope had been planted. The debate within the community continued, but now there was a glimmer of understanding. As the gathering ended, Jake felt a sense of relief wash over him. He had faced the people, shared his heart, and earned their respect, even if just a little. It was a small victory, but it was a step in the right direction. That night, as he returned to the palace, Serafina met him at the door. "You did well, Jake," she said, her eyes shining with pride. "You showed them that you care." Jake smiled, feeling encouraged. "Thank you, Serafina. I just hope they can learn to trust me." Together, they looked out over the city, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Their bond was growing stronger, and with it, the hope for a brighter future for both their worlds. But the road ahead would be difficult, and they knew that resistance from the people would not fade easily. They were determined to prove that love and unity could overcome fear and doubt. As days turned into weeks, Jake and Queen Serafina spent more time together. Each moment deepened their connection, and slowly the tension in the kingdom began to ease. The people of Zephyra watched as their queen and the human ambassador formed a unique bond, one that transcended their differences. Jake learned about the rich culture of Zephyra. The queen shared stories of her people, their history, and the beauty of their world. He was fascinated by the rituals and traditions that shaped their lives. Serafina took him on walks through the palace gardens, where flowers glowed in shades of blue and violet, lighting up the night like stars. During one such evening stroll, they stopped by a pond that shimmered like liquid silver. The soft sound of water filled the air, and fireflies danced around them. Jake turned to Serafina, admiring her elegance. "This place is beautiful. It feels magical." Serafina smiled, her eyes sparkling in the moonlight. "It is a sacred place for my people. Here we share our hopes and dreams." She paused, then added, "And I want to share mine with you, Jake." Jake felt his heart race. "What do you dream of?" he asked, genuinely curious. "I dream of a united world," Serafina replied softly. "One where humans and Zephyrians can work together, where we learn from each other instead of fearing one another." Her words struck a chord within him. I want that too. I want to help your people and prove that I can be trusted. As they talked, a sense of warmth enveloped them. They shared laughter, and for the first time, Jake felt a deep sense of belonging. He realized that his initial mission was growing into something much more significant. However, despite their closeness, whispers of doubt still lingered among the Zephyrian people. Some still questioned Jake's intentions, believing he could not truly understand their queen's needs. Tarek and a few other council members remained skeptical, trying to convince others that a human could never truly fit into their society. One afternoon, while Jake was practicing with the Zephyrian guards, he overheard Tarek speaking to a small group of villagers. "This human cannot be trusted. He is a foreigner in our land. We must protect our queen from his influence." Jake felt anger bubbling inside him, but decided to remain calm. He finished his training and approached the group. "I overheard your conversation, Tarek," he said, his voice steady. "I am not here to harm the queen or your people. I care about Seraphina and I want to help." Tarek scoffed, crossing his arms. "You say that now, but can you truly understand the weight of her responsibility? Can you bear the burden of being a part of our royal family?" Jake took a step closer, determined to show his sincerity. "I may not be from Zephyra, but I am willing to learn. I want to understand your ways and become part of your community. It's not about me. It's about all of us working together." Some villagers began to nod, their expressions shifting from doubt to contemplation. However, Tarek remained firm. "We cannot take risks with our queen's future. You must prove yourself beyond mere words." Feeling the pressure, Jake took a deep breath. "Then give me a chance to show you that I am committed to Seraphina and to your people." As the days passed, Jake dedicated himself to learning everything he could about Zephyrian culture. He trained with the guards, learned their language, and participated in their customs. Each interaction brought him closer to Seraphina and her people. He began to see the beauty in their traditions, and they in turn began to see his dedication. One evening, while preparing for a festival celebrating the unity of their worlds, Seraphina invited Jake to help her decorate the palace. As they hung colorful lanterns and ribbons, their fingers brushed against each other, sending sparks of energy through the air. Laughter filled the room as they shared stories and playful banter. "I never thought I would be decorating a palace with a human," Seraphina teased, her smile bright. Jake grinned. "And I never thought I would be decorating a palace at all. This is amazing." As they finished their task, Seraphina turned serious. "Jake, I want to thank you for your efforts. You have shown me that humans can be kind and brave. You have made me believe in the possibility of a future together." Jake's heart swelled with emotion. "I believe in us too, Seraphina. We can show your people that love and unity are stronger than fear." With a shared understanding, they stood close, their eyes locked. In that moment, they both knew they were on the brink of something monumental, a bond that would not only change their lives, but could also transform the fate of both their worlds.